Good evening, everyone. My name is MA Francois, and I've been with the city of South Fulton for 2 years now. Prior to that, I've been with Fulton County for 18 years. My background, I have a bachelor in mechanical engineering, and I have a master's in transportation civil engineering. And I've been in transportation really for over 32 years. From 1989, I've worked for the Department of Transportation in New York State. I've worked in Florida, in Atlanta, and I'm very blessed and fortunate to be with the city of South Fulton. It's a beautiful place to work. I mean, and again, I've been very fortunate to have worked with the city for almost 20 years, because prior to that, I worked for the Atlanta Regional Commission, and I was the liaison for South Fulton. So a lot of you I've known you for 20 years. You know me by my first name. I know you by your first name. You have invited me to your meetings. You have invited me to your home, some of you. And as I said, I'm very blessed to be part of it. And the city is a wonderful place to work. And you probably can tell I enjoy what I do. It's a blessing to wake up in the morning to go to work knowing that you love what you do, because a lot of people don't have that luxury to enjoy what they do. And the city, I'm the program manager. I'm over the public works has several divisions. One of them, probably the most popular one, is transportation. We also have solid waste. We also have facilities. We have stormwater. We have traffic operations. And as you know, transportation is the most popular one. And the reason is because transportation impacts your life. Everything that you do is impacted by transportation one way or the other. So that's why a lot of people tend to pay more attention to transportation than any other service that we provide. Having said that, part of my responsibilities have to be with three main programs. The first one is the Adapter Road program that I'm about to talk about tonight, but I also oversee the traffic calming program. That is a very popular one also in the city of South Fulton. And the last one is the Street Light Master Plan. Hopefully, if I do a good job tonight, you guys will invite me to talk about the other two in the future. So if I don't get a call from you, so that I will assume that I didn't do a good job. I mean, just kidding. Having said that, let me go to the next page. Oh, by the way, the Adapter Road program, the resolution 2019-032, it was adopted by Mayor and Council in July of 2019. Last year, we had to revise the document a little bit because some of the things were not clear. So we had to revise it to make sure that everybody understands it. Number two, in terms of aesthetics, the document wasn't pleasant. So we tried to make it attractive, because the more you make something attractive, the more people will read it, will get into it. So we figured that was the time to do that. So we did that in October of last year. And this is really what I would like to talk to you about. What is the adapter road? Who can adopt it? This is kind of what we call the frequently asked questions. People always like to know these things. So the presentation is really tailored to address those questions. And the responsibility of the adapting organization, this is probably what I call la crème de la crème, because a lot of people like to adopt the road just to have the name on the signs, but they are not aware of the responsibilities, nor are they willing to do what they are required to do. So this is a very important section so that everybody understands it. And one thing that I would like to go one by one is the documents that are required to be officially registered under the program. Now, the Adapter Road program, as you can see, is nothing but a litter prevention and beautification program. This is think of it as being a partnership a public-private a public-private partnership with the city where you, the organization and the city, will get together and you identified a location that you think is you would like to help the city to maintain. We do require that you do it so frequently, and I will go over that in the other slide. Currently, we do have a contractor, a vendor that we outsource the work to. They go ahead and maintain the right of way in some location, but anything that the private sector can do to complement that or to augment that is really appreciated, and that's what keep your neighborhood really beautiful. And in terms of who can adopt, almost any civic organization, any church, so far we don't have any church group registered, but we do have a lot of business association and businesses that are really interested and that have drawn us for the past year and a half. And but with the adapter road, there are some responsibilities that, as I stated before, there are some general responsibilities that the program requires. For example, for your organization, especially the day of the event, we don't want you to post anything that has your address, phone number, or anything that political, any message, anything like that. So what happened is that and I will go into it, once you are a registered vendor, there is a responsibility of the city to provide the signs. And once you have the signs, then you can do business. And in addition to the signs, we really don't want you to put anything out there while you're doing business. And in terms of general responsibilities, we require that you perform the cleanup at least 4 times a year. And once you become registered with the city, we keep you in a database. So we know when you are registered. And if, for example, halfway down the line, I don't see any action from your organization or from anybody, I will shoot you an email to let you know, hey, listen, you are required to do this 4 times a year. And this is already month number 7, and I haven't seen anything. Because if you don't fulfill the requirements, as you can see, the last bullet at the bottom said that if you do not perform satisfactorily, you will be removed from the program for a period of 1 year. So it is personally, it's my duty to remind you, if I don't see any actions from your organization, then I will shoot you an email or something to just document that you really haven't fulfilled. Because to me, if you are in month number 7, you haven't done anything, it's very unlikely you're going to do it. You're going to do 4 events in the last 6 months. So I'm trying to be engaged, to work with you so that both of us are successful with the program. Another thing that we require a minimum, the corridor or the road that you choose, we require a minimum of 2 miles. And personally, I've been very open, because most programs only require that you do 1 road, because sometimes people wants to do half a road or just don't have, the road is not long enough. What I try to do is to be as creative as possible when I will give you more than 1 location for you to do. For example, the Business Merchant Association, Cascade, you guys have 3 separate locations. And you have the Cascade Road, you have Fairburn, and you have Research Drive. So you have 3 separate locations. The reason why it's not only because, I'm sorry? Yeah, so you have 3 different locations. The third requirement is that you are required to sign up for 2 years. This is a 2-year commitment. Hopefully, like after 3 months or a year, hopefully the department will not receive an email from you guys that you're no longer interested or this like that, you know. So we try to sign up because we have a limited staff, and there's a lot of people that needs to that would like to get involved. So we hope that any organization that's signed up for the program will actually hold on to the program for 2 years. That's very important so that the program is successful. Lastly, anytime you're going to do an event, we would like for you to let the city know at least 10 days in advance. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of coordination that goes behind the scene. We want to make sure once the trash is picked up and you leave it, we want to make sure that the next working day somebody is available to pick it up and so on. In addition to that, some small organization, they don't have the resources that probably the Cascade BMA has. We do provide trash bags, gloves, vests, and litter grabbers to pick up the trash. So if you guys want to pick up those, you can come to the city hall. We do have them. You have to let me know when you're coming, so I'll make sure that you have those things ready for you to use. I know if you have a big organization where you have 70, 200 people, I mean, it's not going to do much. But for small organization, it makes a difference that we can provide that. And since we don't have a budget for that program, that's the best we can do now with the resources that we have. Now, as I said earlier, this is really the meat of the presentation. Your responsibility as an adopting organization, you have the responsibility of coordinating the program with your volunteers. If you want to call it, the agreement is between you, the president, and the city. So we do not get involved in recruiting volunteers or talking to them and so on. That responsibility will fall under you. But the public works staff is available to guide you to do anything that we can do to disseminate the information to the city. But as far as recruiting members and volunteers, that responsibility falls 100% on you. And we require that everybody that participating in the event is 18 years of age or older. If not, there is a form that is required that you sign it to give the city a parental consent that your son, your child, your nephew, or whoever is going to participate. It's very important. We strongly encourage you not to engage into the event without sending that information to us ahead of time. It's very important for liability issues. It's very important that we have that information ahead of us. And again, and you probably do that now at the beginning of every event. We strongly encourage you to have a safety briefing meetings among yourself. And depends on the locations, you can decide where to stay away from the pavement and so on and so forth. And I will get into that in the following slides. And again, the most important thing is that to make it really blunt and short is that you are doing this at your own risk. The city assumes no responsibility whatsoever of what may happen to you. So that's why it's very important that you be safe and that you take your time, that you look out for sign of any danger, that you pay attention to the road, to the traffic, and also the weather. So, and those forms before the city approve or register anybody as a vendor, you are required to submit those forms to us. And we do have those forms on records that you decide not to take. You want the city to assume not any responsibility whatsoever for what may occur during that day. And the responsibility of public works, as I said earlier, we will give you 2 boxes of gloves. We will give you 10 vests and 10 leader grabbers for a year. So whatever you pick up today, you're going to have to wait another 365 days before we can give you another supplies. But meanwhile, before the approval process is a two-step process before you can start work. Once the city receive and approve your application, the department will send you a letter to let you know that you are registered in the program. But before you can do anything, what the city will do, the city will get with our contractors, and we will fabricate the signs. There will be two signs. There will be the adapter road sign that you probably see on Cascade Road, and also there is a daughter sign that we put underneath. And the daughter sign, it has the name of the organization or the logo, depending on what you requested from the city. Now, once you have the signs fabricated and installed, then the department will send you what we call a notice to commence work. And at this point, you can go ahead and schedule your next event. And I already talked about the day after the event. Once you do the event is completed, we require that you place everything in a safe location, and you let us know, and our operations and maintenance people will go on the next working day to pick up the trash. And it's very important that you let us know, and that you don't spread the trash all over the road. It makes it very difficult, and it takes time, and there is also a cost associated with it. So we strongly encourage you to either put it at the beginning, at the end, or somewhere in the middle in one location. Now the process is pretty straightforward. You, the organization or the business, will initiate the request either via email or fax or whatever. You send it to the Department of Public Works. We will review it to make sure the form is complete accurately, meaning that you sign wherever you need to sign and everything is in order. Then I or anybody in the staff will review the application to make sure that the roads that you would like to clean are not already taken by somebody else. Because in the past, especially in the past 2 months, the department has received a lot of requests for Cascade Road, and there were like 3 different organizations on Cascade Road that wanted to adopt Cascade Road. So we really had to be very creative, and it takes a lot of time to make sure that we help everybody, but at the same time we don't discriminate anybody, but at the same time the information is done properly. Once we review the application and the road that you are recommended is free, then the staff will send the paperwork to the Public Works Director. He will sign it. Once the document is signed, the department will let you know that you are registered. And as I said, when the signs are fabricated and installed, then we will send you a notice to commence work. And those are some what we call safety tips that you should always keep in mind. You know, it's always good to conduct a safety briefing at the beginning of the cleanup. You know, it's always good to meet at a convenient place. Hey, sometimes it might be good to have a little breakfast, you know, some donuts, so that, you know, people pay attention. So you make sure that everybody's in a good mood, in a good shape. Always make sure that everybody's wear a safety vest, that they have the proper attire, the gloves, and so on. And depends on the location, it's always good to have boots and proper shoes. You don't want people to do this with sandals and so on, because there is a safety involved. Once you do that, and again, every location is different, and the mood is different, the group is different, so you're going to have to use your own judgment to decide what is best for you. But at the location itself, we strongly discourage that you have too many cars parked on the right of way. So the more people can carpool to go to the site, and in your case, maybe the people already live on Cascade Road, so they don't need to drive. But a lot of organizations, they have to drive 2 miles to go to the site. So in instances like this, we discourage people to park 20 cars along the road, 30, 40 cars. So we strongly encourage people to carpool. And in some more safety tips, in terms of group, we encourage you to work in groups of 3 or 4. And you guys have been doing this for a while, so you probably have your own techniques or your own routines. But really, this is kind of pretty standards to wherever you go. Those are the standard type of things that we require. But it's always good to have a first aid kit nearby, just in case somebody is allergic to something, or mosquito bites or whatever. So it's very important that you always keep that in mind. And really the most important things are the last 2 numbers. You're going to have to use your own judgment. If it's really bad weather, you feel like it's not safe to be out there, don't go out there. If it's getting dark or you're going over bridges and so on, you're going to have to use your own judgment. If for whatever reason that day you feel like there's more traffic than normal, you feel threatened, you feel like it's unsafe, we strongly encourage you to postpone it for another time, because safety is always number 1. And as always, in any case of emergency, please call 911. Now, those forms are the forms that you already signed and submitted to the department. This is where a release of liability, where you release the city of South Fulton and his officers and employees harmless, to hold them harmless of any liability. In other words, you are doing this at your own risk. And it's very important that you understand that, and you do whatever you can do to mitigate any liability on the site or the day of the event. And the next one, I've talked about it already, which is the parental consent. If anybody under the age of 18 is going to be present, the department requires that you submit a form. You have a copy of the form, and I believe the form is also on the website. Please, it's very important that you fill out that form and send it to us the day of or ahead of time. And this one is, again, is kind of to reiterate the need that we require that you clean up 4 times a year, and the engagement is for a 2-year period from the date of the execution of the program. And also remember, you waive all claims. By signing the document, the indemnification and maintenance form, you agree to waive all claims for damages against the city of South Fulton and against his officers and employees for injury to my personal property, including death and destruction that may arise from this activity. And this is the form that you have to complete and do it and submit it the next day, so that we keep a record of this, and also to document the event. Now, currently, those are all the organizations that the department has currently registered under the program, and some are more active than others, but those are the roads that are already taken. And currently, the department is in the process of working with the IT, the Information Technology Department. We are creating a map, and we're trying to also probably make it interactive. When you go to the city website and you want to adapt a road, you don't even have to call the office. You can click on the map, and it will tell you whether the road is taken or not. And really, this is it. For example, as you can see, the Cascade BMA has 3 locations. Some other organization has 2 locations, and some only have 1 road. but nevertheless, those are some long corridors. For example, the Delta Sigma Theta, they have Stonewall Tail from Butner Road to Campbellton Road, which is about 3 miles long. This is a very long road. So it's a lot. It is a lot. So having said that, currently, as of today, we don't have any pending applications. So if you know of any other organizations that may be interested to the program, that information, I'm going to post it on the city website as of Monday, and feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll be able to tell you whether the road is taken or not. But as far as the Cascade BMA is concerned, I did receive some correspondence from Mr. Michael Davis. He has informed me that there is a road behind the Walgreens. Is the whole old Cascade Road. He suggested that I give you guys a call, because currently it seems like on several occasions he passed by and the road is in bad condition, and not so much the road, but there's a lot of litters and trash and so on and so forth. And he was wondering whether the Cascade BMA, in addition to those 3 locations, whether you guys are willing to take an additional location. I forwarded that information to the Cascade BMA yesterday or the day before, and again, it's really your call if you decide to do it or not. So I leave that up to the Cascade BMA, whether you feel like you have enough resources or the desire to even do that. But so I will leave that to the Cascade BMA. That's all I have. And please, if you have any questions, please, I'll be happy to entertain any questions that you have.
This is Bobby. It looks like the Atlanta Southwest overlaps with some of the areas that we're cleaning.
On Cascade Road, the Cascade BMA starts from Shanda Trail to Kimberly Road, and the Atlanta Southwest will pick it up from Kimberly to go to FIB. So in other words, the corridor is split into 2 separate. You're doing let me make sure I get my directions right. You're doing the eastern part, and the Atlanta Southwest is doing the western part.
Right, I see it now. I think that comma behind Cascade Road threw me off, but I see the difference now. Thank you.
So you asked if another road, and if I'm not mistaken, that road is like the same street that the college is on. Is that where that is? Are you familiar?
Well, actually, it's from Walgreens, and it goes down under and comes back up on Kimberly.
Mm-hmm. So I think it is, Rich, over that area that she's thinking. Not the college, but the residential where the students used to live at that. I think it's an apartment complex back there.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess that's to be discussed. I'm not sure if we have enough hands on deck.
Right. Yeah. Rich and I talked about it briefly after I received Roussan's email, and we said that we would, definitely talk about it this evening.
Okay.
Okay, Roussan, you can stop sharing.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there any, Roussan, are there other areas in the city that you think need to be worked on?
We do have a lot of corridors that need attention in other districts. I will be happy on Monday to send a list to the Cascade BMA, and feel free to choose if you feel like stepping outside of your district. we do have, it's one city. So if you feel comfortable doing that, I will be happy to send you a full list on Monday. Max?
Yes, I
Max?
hear you. Okay, thank you. I was just curious, do you actually solicit help from nonprofits like I see other nonprofits are participating? Do you actually go out and solicit their help?
No, and no, and in fact, it's either word of mouth or some of them came from the councilman's district. Sometimes the council member, I think they publish that information on the newsletter. And when the resident reads, the constituents, when they read the newsletter, they get interested and they reach out to us.